In Monaco, elegance isn't an accessory, it's woven into the very air. Here, even a license plate can cost more than a Lamborghini, and afternoon tea unfolds with the grace of a royal ceremony. This isn't just a sanctuary for the ultra-rich. It's a realm where sophistication is the baseline and living beautifully is simply expected. Monaco, a microstate of magnificence. Tucked along the sparkling Mediterranean coastline, Monaco occupies a mere 2 square kilometers, smaller than many golf resorts in the US. But what this micronation lacks in size, it more than makes up for in extravagance. Monaco is not your average country. It's a curated world of high-end perfection, where luxury isn't an option. It's the standard. Interestingly, the native Monegasque population is a minority here. Instead, the principality draws a cosmopolitan elite from every corner of the globe. Tech titans, entertainment royalty, Wall Street legends, and art-collecting aristocrats. While the tax-free advantage garners attention, it's merely the entry point to a lifestyle that many would describe as fantasy. Privacy isn't requested. It's guaranteed. Dreams aren't imagined. They're lived. Here, opulence is normalized. The streets double as runways for Rolls-Royces and Ferraris, while mornings might begin with a breakfast of beluga caviar and espresso served in hand-painted porcelain. Evenings often close with champagne toasts aboard yachts longer than city blocks. In Monaco, luxury isn't a privilege, it's a given. So ask yourself, would you trade your ramen and rideshare routine for neighbors who cruise in Bugattis and dinners that end with edible gold? Let us know. What's your version of the Monaco dream? The Women of Monaco, timeless icons of class. In a society sculpted around aesthetic brilliance and social grace, the women of Monaco stand as its most exquisite symbols. They don't just follow fashion. They embody a deeper elegance that transcends passing trends. Their charm isn't loud, their presence never forced. It's a quiet magnetism rooted in poise, intellect, and cultivated confidence. With one of the highest female life expectancies in the world, around 93 years, it's not just Monaco's world-class healthcare that keeps its women youthful. It's a lifestyle grounded in discipline, wellness, and emotional balance. They embrace aging not with fear, but with finesse, preferring timeless beauty to fleeting youth. Fluency in multiple languages is expected, but what truly sets them apart is their skillful use of language as a tool for connection. Whether speaking French, Italian, English, or another tongue, they navigate conversations with nuance, elegance, and social precision. This makes them particularly influential in Monaco's multicultural circles, where global marriages are not only common, but often strategic. Weddings in Monaco are more than romantic unions. They're high society events steeped in symbolism and global interest. Brides often resemble royalty in designer couture, embodying grace, intelligence, and charisma. These ceremonies, widely covered by international media, project Monaco's ideal of womanhood, bold, brilliant, and utterly unforgettable. Larvotto Beach, Europe's most luxurious stretch of sand. In a country where each square meter of land is worth a fortune, having a public beach at all is noteworthy. But Larvotto isn't just any beach. It's a redefinition of coastal leisure at its most luxurious. This stretch of shoreline blurs the line between resort and runway, where high fashion and Mediterranean sun blend into an experience unlike any other. Visitors don't just arrive with towels, they arrive with an aesthetic vision. Swimsuits are hand-picked from collections by Versace, Chanel, or Hermès. Flip-flops and sunglasses often carry price tags in the thousands, not for vanity, but because here luxury is instinctive. The beach is groomed daily to pristine standards. The sand is fine and cool underfoot, while sunbeds are outfitted with UV-sensitive fabrics that subtly shimmer in the sun. Attendants offer chilled Dom Perignon and gourmet canapés as a matter of course. The soundscape? A blend of waves lapping against the shore, the distant whirl of private helicopters arriving from Dubai or Geneva, and soft harp melodies drifting from rooftop soirees above. Larvotto doesn't just offer a beach day, It invites you into a world where luxury is not behind velvet ropes, but freely available to those fluent in the unspoken etiquette of refinement. It's the embodiment of Monaco's philosophy that public life can be just as exclusive as private privilege, if done with grace. Pampered to perfection, the pets of Monaco's elite. In Monaco, where luxury is a lifestyle and detail is everything, pets are not simply furry companions. They're full-fledged members of high society. A poodle draped in a Hermes silk scarf or a Siamese cat riding in a Louis Vuitton carrier isn't an oddity. It's an everyday expression of their owner's identity and standards. Here, animals are treated not only with love, but with the same reverence given to art and jewelry. In the gleaming towers of Monaco's elite residences, pets have privileges that rival those of human residents. Private elevators ensure they never mingle with strangers. Designer suites offer custom bedding, and personal pet butlers handle everything from daily walks to social event prep. Local pet spas provide services that sound more like those at a luxury retreat: volcanic mud wraps, hydrotherapy pools, gourmet meals tailored to breed and age, and even paw massages using French lavender oil. Some pets even have their own passports, bank accounts, and fashion stylists. They walk the red carpet at Monaco's Pet Fashion Week, turning heads as confidently as any celebrity. And no one raises an eyebrow when a Chihuahua is chauffeured in a Bentley for a holistic wellness check. Behind the extravagance lies something more meaningful, a reflection of Monaco's cultural philosophy, that beauty, care, and dignity should extend to every living thing. Here, treating your pet like royalty isn't excess, it's etiquette. Afternoon tea, where nobility meets ritual. In Monaco, an afternoon tea isn't just a midday indulgence, it's a ceremonial performance of grace, history, and high taste. Often enjoyed in the ornate lounges of Hôtel de Paris or the Hermitage, this refined ritual is as much about ambiance as it is about flavor. From the first whiff of jasmine-scented steam to the last sip of golden oolong, every detail feels curated by centuries of noble tradition. The teas hail from ancient, revered plantations, sun-kissed Assam from India, mist-covered oolong from the Taiwanese hills, and jasmine pearls hand-rolled in rural China. And it's not just the tea that's elevated. The presentation is art itself. Delicate scones, warm and crumbly, are served with Devonshire clotted cream and seasonal jams made from fruits grown in the Riviera's own microclimates. Everything arrives on sterling trays adorned with fresh orchids or rose petals. Conversations over tea are never trivial. This is where Monaco's elite slow down, not to waste time, but to enrich it. Topics flow from art and philanthropy to architecture and legacy investments. In a world that rarely pauses, afternoon tea in Monaco is a gentle rebellion, a space where silence holds meaning and every movement is done with intention. Here, slowness isn't indulgence, it's refinement at its highest. Dining in Monaco, culinary theater for the privileged. To dine in Monaco is to enter a realm where food isn't just consumed, it's performed. Here, Michelin-starred chefs orchestrate each dish like a composer writes a symphony, layering taste, emotion, and storytelling into every bite. Meals aren't merely served, they unfold like dramatic narratives with edible characters. Imagine beginning your evening with sea bass carpaccio drizzled in truffle oil and decorated with edible flowers. Then comes a main course like slow-roasted cod paired with a reduction of aged Bordeaux and lemon zest, a sensory dialogue between land and sea. The dessert? Perhaps a Galapian tart crafted from hand-ground almonds and sun-dried fruits, designed to evoke the memory of a Provence summer. And the porchetta? In Monaco, even this rustic classic gets a 5-star makeover, stuffed with fennel, liver, and wild herbs, crisped to perfection, and plated with artistic precision. It's Italian soul food meets French haute cuisine. All of this is paired with wines few have even heard of, stored in private caves only accessible to those with the right connections and the right bank balance. In this setting, food isn't just nourishment, it's identity, it's diplomacy, it's a declaration of who you are. So tell us, Would you trade your microwaved mac and cheese for wine-aged venison and hand-foraged mushroom risotto? Or are you more the type to pair Dom Perignon with takeout sushi and silk pajamas? Share your Monaco dream dinner in the comments. We won't judge, unless your wine pairing is questionable. The Haute Couture Festival, when fashion meets purpose. In most places, festivals are for fun. In Monaco, they're sacred ceremonies of culture, where fashion, art, and philanthropy move hand in hand down the red carpet. Each gala is less of an event and more of an expression of Monaco's soul. Take the Rose Ball, for example, an annual spectacle hosted by the royal family at the opulent Salle des Étoiles. It's not just a glamorous party, it's an immersive experience built around a new theme each year. From Baroque-inspired floral fantasies to surreal, futuristic realms, each theme is translated through jaw-dropping haute couture. Designers like Elie Saab, Dior, Chanel, and Valentino don't just dress the attendees, they tell a story, one woven with beauty, cultural memory, and soft power. Then there's the Monte Carlo Circus Festival, where acrobatics meet artistry. This isn't your average circus. It's a stage where elite performers from across the globe showcase their courage, elegance, and mastery, often raising millions for royal-sponsored charities. These shows combine thrill with purpose, creating moments that are as meaningful as they are mesmerizing. In Monaco, a gown can fund an education program. A performance can rebuild a village. This is fashion with impact, luxury with a mission. It's why, when Monaco hosts a festival, the whole world watches, not just for the sparkle, but for the soul behind it. Royal tourism, stepping into a living fairy tale. Tourism in Monaco isn't about sightseeing. It's about entering a living work of art. Every alley, every plaza, every flourish of architecture tells the story of a principality shaped by royalty, grace, and deep cultural pride. Atop the rocky outcrop of Monaco-Ville stands the Prince's Palace, home to the Grimaldi dynasty since the 13th century. Visitors flock to witness the changing of the guard, not as a tourist show, but as a precise ritual that pays homage to centuries of continuity and dignity. For those who appreciate the theatrical, the Opéra de Monte Carlo is a gilded jewel, designed by Charles Garnier, yes, the same genius behind the Paris Opera. This venue exudes Belle Époque grandeur. Gold leaf gleams on the balconies, silken wall panels soften the acoustics, and crystal chandeliers sparkle above performances that stir both intellect and soul. The Oceanographic Museum, perched dramatically above the Mediterranean, is more than an attraction. It's a call to conscience. Founded by Prince Albert I and championed today by Prince Albert II, the museum blends science with spectacle to remind us of our duty to the sea. And when reflection is needed, the Princess Grace Rose Garden offers a sanctuary of scent, serenity, and legacy. This floral haven honors the enduring beauty and spirit of Grace Kelly, who transformed Monaco into a symbol of refined modern royalty. Here, amid blooms kissed by sea breezes, visitors don't just remember a princess, they feel her presence. Monaco, where wealth isn't flaunted, it's engineered. Forget stock tickers and spreadsheets. For the global elite, Monaco is where wealth becomes an art form. While its tax laws famously attract billionaires, what truly sets the principality apart is how seamlessly it nurtures and protects financial legacies. From bespoke asset management to ironclad legal protections, Monaco's financial system isn't just efficient, it's elegant. Discretion is embedded into every transaction, and global investors trust Monaco not just with their money, but with their peace of mind. Offices of multinational corporations sit quietly behind marble facades, while wealth advisors broker deals over truffle risottos and vintage Bordeaux. And then there's Port Hercules, Monaco's shimmering crown. This marina isn't a dock, it's a floating kingdom of mega-yachts. A single berth can cost more than a penthouse in Manhattan. But it's not about size, it's about what that vessel represents. A life engineered around privacy, adventure, and ultimate freedom. These yachts are nothing short of architectural wonders. Helicopter pads, infinity pools, underwater lounges, cigar libraries, even art galleries. Each detail speaks to a life where the limits of land are no longer enough. Here, even a quiet cruise to Corsica becomes a symphony of indulgence. No one needs to ask your name in Monaco. If you have a yacht moored at Port Hercules, the message is clear. You've arrived, not just financially, but philosophically. This is a place where finance, lifestyle, and legacy blend into a seamless portrait of modern nobility. The unspoken language of the elite. In Monaco, language operates on an entirely different frequency. Words are rarely needed. Here, communication is subtle, coded in glances, watch choices, and the precision of a well-executed toast. When everyone is wealthy, saying too much can feel like saying too little. There are no business cards exchanged, no introductions padded with resumes. Instead, a nod across a private lounge, the gentle tap of a baccarat glass, or the quiet shimmer of a limited edition Patek Philippe, just one of 5 ever made, says everything. In Monaco, your silence speaks volumes. People here don't talk openly about wealth. Instead, they refer to a poetic apartment by the sea, a discreet canvas of investment, or a residence that understands discretion. These aren't just metaphors. They're a refined dialect where subtlety carries weight and understatement is a currency of its own. If luxury needs to be explained, it loses its essence. That's Monaco's unspoken mantra. You won't be judged by what you say, but by how you carry a room. Can you arrive in silence and still leave a lasting impression? Can your watch deliver a conversation more nuanced than 1,000 words? Here, style isn't about fashion. It's fluency in the art of restraint. So, could you master the Monaco conversation without ever opening your mouth? Or would your inner tourist shout, "Cool car, man," and shatter the spell? Monaco-Ville, where history isn't preserved but lived. Perched dramatically atop a limestone promontory that juts into the glittering Mediterranean, Monaco-Ville, known affectionately as Le Rocher, or The Rock, is more than just a neighborhood. It's the soul of the principality. Here, time doesn't just pass. It pauses, meanders, and lingers in the corners of every street, whispering tales of centuries gone by. This is the beating heart of old Monaco, where past and present coexist with an intimacy that's rare in today's digitized world. The streets are narrow and winding, flanked by pastel buildings that seem to glow under the Riviera sun. Doors are heavy and wooden, their hinges creaking not from age but from the weight of memory. Ornate wrought-iron balconies bloom with geraniums and ivy, their roots as deep in the limestone as the stories told by elders in the town square. The air itself carries a certain density, infused with the mingled aromas of briny sea breeze, simmering tomato confit, old leather-bound books, and lavender from nearby gardens. It's not just nostalgic, it's immersive. You don't walk through Monaco-Ville, you're enveloped by it. At its epicenter lies the Prince's Palace of Monaco, the official residence of the Grimaldi family since 1297. Its stone facade radiates quiet authority, but within its walls lie the true treasures: rare manuscripts, historical maps, royal decrees, and letters penned by explorers and visionaries. This isn't merely a seat of power. It's the living archive of an identity forged over centuries. Where other cities display history behind velvet ropes and glass, Monaco-Ville lets you live it. The baker knows your name, the stones underfoot remember your footsteps, and the horizon reminds you that continuity is the true crown jewel. In a modern world racing toward constant reinvention, Le Rocher stands as a monument to the timeless, the idea that the past isn't something to visit, but something to carry forward, brick by weathered brick. La Condamine, Monaco's masterclass in understated luxury. Nestled like a breath between the commanding heights of Monaco-Ville and the extravagant glow of Monte Carlo lies La Condamine, a district that defines itself not through spectacle, but through restraint. If Monte Carlo is Monaco's spotlight, La Condamine is its shadow, a space where elegance slips on soft shoes and moves without needing applause. This is where Monaco's seasoned elite retreat when the glitz becomes too loud. It's a neighborhood of quiet intentionality. Electric cars glide noiselessly along terraced streets shaded by mature trees. The balconies above are lined not with flashing neon signs, but with neatly arranged lavender pots and climbing roses. It's not a silence of emptiness. It's the sound of contentment, of lives that no longer chase validation. Here, every detail matters. House numbers are chosen for font harmony with the doorway. A bronze door knocker shaped like a seahorse might be the only clue to the personality behind the walls. Gates are neither imposing nor opulent, but subtly beautiful, each a curated reflection of the owner's internal aesthetic. In La Condamine, you won't find extravagance on display. You'll find a deep, cultivated calm. The residents are equally refined. They are artists no longer interested in showing their work, entrepreneurs who've already played the game and won, and philosophers of daily life who now collect moments instead of accolades. Their wealth isn't measured in euros, but in the mastery of presence without noise. In a global culture obsessed with broadcasting every achievement, Le Condamine offers a radical alternative: to live a life that doesn't need to be performed, to live so quietly, so beautifully, that the absence of sound becomes its own kind of music. Monaco plates, prettier than a Lambo. In most places, license plates are just legal identifiers, an afterthought stapled to a vehicle. But in Monaco, they're status symbols in their own right, small metallic relics of prestige that, in some cases, outshine the multi-million-dollar hypercars they're attached to. Here, a license plate isn't just a number, it's a proclamation. Plates like F1, 1MC, or the solitary P aren't acquired. They're inherited, hunted, or fiercely bid upon. The car may roar like a beast, but the plate speaks with a whisper, and that whisper holds more weight in Monegasque society than a garage full of horsepower. Why? Because exclusivity here is currency. There's only one P plate, only one F1, and to own one is not merely to possess a rare object. It's to possess a narrative of influence, discretion, and deep-rooted privilege. Some of these plates are passed between royal families and business dynasties, others auctioned off quietly in private rooms with velvet walls and signed confidentiality clauses. Prices for such plates can soar into the millions, often exceeding the cost of the Rolls-Royce they grace. And the most fascinating twist? Some collectors don't even drive them. The plates are displayed like fine art, mounted in custom frames, lit with gallery lighting, and housed beside rare horology, original Van Goghs, and antique safari rifles. It's not just about automotive culture. It's about collecting symbols of legacy. In a city where wealth is woven into the architecture and discretion is the final frontier of power, a minimalist plate with two polished characters can say more than 1,000 Instagram posts ever could. In Monaco, silence isn't weakness. It's elite fluency. And the right license plate? It's the perfect signature. Silence as a signature of civilization. In Monaco, quiet isn't the absence of life. It's proof that life is in perfect order. Walk through the heart of the city, and you'll hear your footsteps bounce softly off stone facades. No horns, no shouting, just the whisper of sea breezes and the distant clink of a porcelain cup at a sunlit cafe. This isn't artificial calm, it's the result of intentional design. Monaco doesn't banish noise, it simply creates a life where chaos doesn't belong. Electric cars hum silently through the streets, conversations unfold in low tones, even luxury unfolds gently here, not with spectacle, but with grace. You won't find street performers or panhandlers, not because Monaco is blind to inequality, but because the bar for entry is inherently high. Only those who have already passed life's hardest financial tests can afford to call it home. And yet, life here doesn't feel rushed or hard-earned. It moves with poise, like a slow, confident waltz. Every step has purpose. Every decision feels thoughtful. In this world, quiet isn't loneliness. It's liberation. It's the ability to exist without being chased, to pause without guilt, and to savor the freedom of being exactly where you belong. High costs, but smart living makes it work. Yes, Monaco is one of the most expensive places on Earth, but that doesn't mean it's only for billionaires. For those with strategy, intention, and a bit of flexibility, life in this polished paradise is surprisingly within reach. A comfortable monthly budget in Monaco might range between $4,500 to $8,000, depending on lifestyle choices. And while that sounds steep, clever living makes it manageable. Splitting a seafront apartment with a trusted roommate? Suddenly that dream view becomes accessible. Choosing seasonal local produce over imported luxuries? Both cost-effective and elegant. Even more compelling is Monaco's most famous financial perk: zero personal income tax. For remote workers and digital entrepreneurs, that's not just a savings boost, it's a game changer. When every dollar you earn stays in your pocket, expensive becomes relative. Here, every euro spent delivers more than a product. It buys peace, safety, discretion, and access to experiences few places on Earth can rival. You're not just paying for space, you're buying a lifestyle where no one brags, no one flaunts, and yet everyone knows exactly where they stand in the grand chessboard of global living. Monaco helicopters fly like royalty. Despite being home to some of the wealthiest individuals on the planet, Monaco doesn't have its own airport. At first, that might seem like a logistical flaw, but in truth, it's one of Monaco's most elegant flexes. Here, convenience doesn't come from scale, it flows from seamless sophistication. Rather than building a bulky airport that would disrupt its exquisite skyline, Monaco has opted for a more refined solution: luxury helicopter transfers. These high-end choppers run like a prestigious bus system, connecting the Principality to Nice-Côte d'Azur Airport in France. The trip takes just 7 minutes, but it's more experience than commute. Guests are welcomed into private lounges, offered chilled champagne, and then gracefully lifted into the sky aboard whisper-quiet helicopters. No lines, no loudspeaker announcements, and certainly no stress. During the high season, these flights operate with the elegance of a Swiss watch, taking off every few minutes, creating a smooth, continuous corridor in the sky just for the elite. This isn't just air travel, it's an expression of Monaco's core philosophy: less noise, more grace. The helicopters serve as moving metaphors for the Monegasque lifestyle: discreet, efficient, and impeccably tailored. And with the world flowing in to connect with Monaco, not the other way around, the message is clear. Monaco doesn't chase global connection. It lets the world arrive on its own terms. Shopping in Monaco, where style speaks softly. To shop in Monaco is not to consume, it's to communicate. Here, purchasing power isn't about flashy spending. It's about sending subtle signals through taste, exclusivity, and discernment. You won't find chain stores or budget options. There's no McDonald's, no Zara, no bargain bins. What you will find is a retail landscape that feels more like an art gallery than a marketplace. Graceful storefronts from Chanel, Hermès, Cartier, and Louis Vuitton line the polished walkways, each with displays that whisper stories of craftsmanship, legacy, and symbolism. Every handbag, bracelet, or pair of loafers carries a silent weight, not because of price, but because of what it suggests about the wearer's cultural fluency and luxury. Even grocery shopping here breaks the mold. Instead of cereal and canned goods, you'll find shopping carts filled with white truffles flown in from Piedmont, melt-in-your-mouth Wagyu beef from Japan, silky beluga caviar, and artisanal Swiss chocolate. This isn't extravagance, it's just Monaco's version of essentials. No one brags about spending because in this world, refinement is the default. Every purchase is a gesture, every receipt is a private dialogue. Whether you tap a black card or hand over a custom-engraved metal wallet, how you pay speaks volumes. So here's a thought. If you had one shot to express your entire personality through a single luxury item, what would you choose? A tailored suit, a minimalist timepiece, or perhaps a vintage perfume known only to a handful of connoisseurs? In Monaco, that's the game. Shopping isn't about need, it's about narrative. Monaco's perfection, prestige in every detail. In Monaco, land is the ultimate luxury. With just 2 square kilometers to work with, every centimeter is sculpted to convey refinement. It's not just about value per square foot. It's about curating beauty down to the last pebble. The trees that line the promenades aren't there by accident. Each one is selected for how it casts shadow, how it reflects morning light, and how its foliage holds color year-round. Even the paving stones are laid with millimeter precision, not just for durability, but to align with the flow of the sun and the elegance of the surroundings. Public benches, signage, lampposts, they're all designed to disappear, letting space speak for itself. And the details go even deeper. License plates are like art pieces, sleek, understated, and fitted with elegant typefaces. Knocking on the door of a luxury apartment? You won't hear a loud thump. Instead, there's a soft, velvet-toned knock, engineered to be heard but not disrupt, a gentle sign of respect for personal space. Flower pots are placed not for convenience but for optics, positioned at the exact angle to catch the golden hue of sunrise. And even drain covers and handrails are refined to blend into the aesthetic, contributing quietly to an environment where luxury isn't loud, it's ambient. This is Monaco's secret. Prestige isn't built on opulence, but on near-invisible precision. Every leaf, every corner, every sound has been considered, adjusted, and perfected. You don't need to look up to find beauty here. It's already beneath your feet, reflected in the shimmer of polished stone and the quiet dignity of a city designed to be felt, not flaunted. In Monaco, luxury isn't loud, it's lived. It's the hush of velvet footsteps on marble, the glint of sunlight on a silent bay, the feeling of belonging in a world where every moment is curated, not rushed. So tell us, if you could live just one perfect moment in Monaco, what would it be? Leave your dream below and let elegance begin with your story.